Good
morning.
We're back with TCS Student News,
where news comes first.
It's around 8 a.m., Friday, November 16th, and a beautiful day ahead of us.
I'm Masadey Blalock.
And I'm Tyleiah Trusty. Let's hand it over to Masadey, where she'll give us insight on our first story.
Let's get right into health.
The TCS way.
Do you know anyone with heart problems or ever had heart problems?
Yes.
Here's a way to fix it with only 3 words. Eat more fish.
So you're telling me fish is going to help?
Yes, the oil in the fish helps the brain and the heart. This is a helpful tip in today's society because heart problems is the number one leading cause of deaths. About 630,000 men and women die each year from heart failures. So folks, you heard it from your own TCS news reporters. Was this a helpful tip?
Yes. I was just wondering, Masadey, was there more?
Actually, it's funny that you asked that. Learning to manage stress helps to prevent heart problems.
This ties into what we're learning in health.
Yes, it does. We all know that feeling of being stressed.
We do. Our next story is something I really believe to be bizarre. So, I want you just to take a moment to imagine this. Imagine taking half the size of the Sahara and adding 238 trillion gallons of desalinated ocean water to flood these deserts. It's pretty peculiar for someone to do that, right? Well, we're not the only ones thinking about that. Scientists are planning to do the exact same thing. They want to flood the Earth's deserts and to reduce the terrible chances of climate change. They believe that if they take all of this water and dump it into all the deserts around the world, it would then grow plankton to suck up carbon dioxide and will possibly reduce dangerous greenhouse gas levels. What they call to perform this action is the Y Combinator. Now, this is a good idea in the long run, but it's a really pricey option. This Y Combinator is set at $50 trillion. Now, that's roughly half the entire globe's economic productivity for a year. That's a heavy load of money. How are they even going to make that much money in a short amount of time? They believe if they cut the cost down small enough, they can get the government to pay for it. The cons of this drastic idea is it could be a huge risk to take. Yeah, it could help reduce climate change, but we never really took the time to stop and think about the species that actually live there and reproduce. These species are no longer going to have anywhere to live and could possibly be wiped out by man-made flooding. Other people have made the argument about what happened in Australia. They've tried to combat overpopulation of native species, introducing non-native creatures, which later failed. In 1935, they introduced toads to tame sugarcane eating beetles. But the issue wasn't that the toads couldn't even climb the sugarcane. Since they couldn't climb the sugarcane, the beetles continued to overpopulate, and so did the toads. Now, the goal that we are trying to accomplish here is to try to reduce climate change.
So how can we reduce climate change if nobody is really paying attention?
All of this stuff is really crazy. However, runaway global warming is where we all die, and it's very scary. No one wants to be in this position, so here we are. So I want to leave off on this question. Do you honestly think this will work, or is it just a risky option and a waste of time? Well, we're going to find out in the years to come. Now, it's getting a little dry in here, and I'm not talking about the deserts. Let's add a little water and throw it right back to you, Masadey.
A first-year student became permanent on Friday. While doing their weekly reflection back on their week, Cameron Winebrenner described how he was able to stay off the homework list. Suddenly, the classroom got quiet and Mr. Tom broke the news. Cameron described the news as a heart-dropped moment and great excitement. Cameron says we couldn't do this story unless we shouted out Donald Lacey and Jordan Leon, because he would not have achieved this without them. Congratulations, Cameron.
We girls also got the chance on Tuesday to meet with the wonderful organization called the Baltimore Women's Giving. This is a nonprofit organization that is a group of women that want to help women in Baltimore. This all started as a group of women got together and wanted to help each other. It then grew rapidly now to 451 members of the Baltimore Women's Giving. Miss Renee, Miss Day, and Miss Mary sat down with all the girls of TCS and had a deep, meaningful conversation about how it felt being a woman at TCS in our daily lives. We also talked about racial impacts. Miss Renee said something really important that will always stick. She said, It was a really great way to fill the need of women in Baltimore. Thank you so much, Baltimore Women's Giving. You're greatly appreciated here at TCS.
Yes. The moment we have all been waiting for, the Ball Roast. The Ball Roast is a hosted fundraising event for those to become closer who support, attend, and or graduating from the school. Event was very social and touching because everyone was there showing support for my school and enjoying themselves, Olivia Gates said. This is one of the biggest events of this year, and this was something you did not want to miss. The school raised about $7,000. It was a very enjoyable event to see the parents, staff, students, and sponsors and others enjoy themselves. Thank you, Mr. Tom, for hosting this amazing event, and thanks to all those who helped the school and came out. You are greatly appreciated.
On Friday, we also got the opportunity to have a meaningful conversation with Ms. Peg. She informed us a little more about people who are deafblind and how they feel in everyday lives. She informed us about how you should communicate with a deafblind person. She gave us glasses that were shaded, cut, colored, or blurred, and earplugs to match. She gave us a worksheet that made us have to focus with these glasses on, and it was very difficult. She then showed us how it felt to be a guide for a deafblind person, and close to how it feels to be deafblind in that situation. It was terrifying, informative, and fun at the same time. We all appreciate that she took the time out of her day to teach us a valuable life skill. Thank you, Ms. Peg.
Tuesday, November 13th, we went to a place called The Real News Network. It was a wonderful experience. We met with a man named Eddie Conway. He and Mr. Tom has been friends for about 43 years. Mr. Eddie was a part of the Black Panthers. He's one of the reasons that there are public breakfasts and lunches in public schools. While we were at the studio, we got the chance to learn a lot about broadcasting. I always thought the people that were news anchors had to memorize their script, but in reality, they use a telegraph. This allows the news reporter to read the reports and record them at the same time. Thank you so much, Mr. Eddie, for the amazing experience. My class and I really appreciate the experience.
You know, I think it would be really exciting to have a studio like that here at TCS.
I agree.
I would love to personally thank those who donated the following lunches to us. Thank you so much, Miss Rachel, for the delicious macaroni you brought on Tuesday. It personally was my favorite. Thank you to Miss Karen and Miss Eric for bringing the delicious chili and cornbread. Thank you, Miss Peg, for bringing in the mouth-watering chicken quesadilla and the tangy salsa. I would lastly like to thank Miss Sandy for the amazing mac and cheese you brought on Wednesday. It's people like you all that keep the school running on a smooth basis. The food was really good.
And finally, before we wrap up, I'm in a committee based off a group called Circle of Love. They go out and give hygiene kits to the homeless a couple times a year. My group and I want to go out around Martin Luther King Day and help out. If you know anyone, please get the word out about what we're trying to do. Or if you can yourself, please donate items such as hand sanitizers, washcloths, shampoo, soap, toothpaste, hand sanitizers, and items like that. So let's say hi to my friend Jean and bye to this story. And now we are about to be sent out. So please do watch out for the Circle of Love.
And have a happy Thanksgiving.
Join back next week for another amazing broadcast brought by our broadcast.
Thank you.